Under Trump, we will have no more wars.
Congratulations, President Trump.
God bless Israel. No more wars.
Can Israel ask Trump to start the mass deportations? Because that seems like the only way things get done now. Can they ask him to build the wall? Can Israel tell Trump to release the Epstein files? Don't hold your breath on that one. You can't tell me this wasn't a big FU to Trump's base, given that only 19% of Americans who voted for him supported the US joining Israel's war. But Iran was 5 milliseconds away from building a nuke. Just like Iraq was going to launch a WMD attack in 45 minutes. They've been saying Iran's weeks away from building a nuke for about 30 years.
The deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. Weeks away. If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time.
This time, though, you can definitely believe him this time. And don't you feel relief?
It gives us peace. So I want the so-called, I don't know what to call them, people running around, warmonger, the sloganeers. This should be an education for you, too. America, don't you feel relief?
No, I haven't lost a wink of sleep at the prospect of Iran, probably bullshit anyway, getting a nuke. And be honest, did you? I do lose a lot of sleep over the fact that Middle Eastern regime change, literally every time, leads to utter chaos, mass casualty terror attacks in the West, and huge waves of migrants pouring into the West, turning us into Lebanon and fueling our demographic deracination. I'm old enough to remember the beginning of the month when almost nobody was concerned with Iran's nuclear program, when Bush-era neocon generals are all over CNN salivating with glee. Should it give us pause?
Oh, I'm fascinated, and candidly, I'm impressed.
And anyway, what about Top Gun? You all loved Top Gun.
If you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie...
A lot of you aren't going to be happy with my take. There's basically a MAGA civil war over this right now. But sitting on the fence would have been truly pathetic. So let me spell it out again clearly. We're being demographically demolished by mass migration, which rapidly increases as a consequence of Middle Eastern intervention every single time. That's the core issue. I couldn't give a shit about Iran enriching uranium. And again, before about a week ago, did you? Really? Don't ask Ted Cruz.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the population.
But Iran's population is 4 times bigger than Syria's. 7 million people left Syria, sparking the refugee crisis. They're saying this could be the largest refugee crisis ever. And they're already fleeing Iran en masse. Neocons used to say, we bomb them over there so they don't come and bomb us over here. Yeah, how's that worked out since the invasion of Afghanistan? They bomb their countries, stoke generational resentment and hatred towards us. Then they open our borders and import them all anyway, to the point where some of our major cities are becoming unrecognisable. What's the point in trying to eradicate Islamism abroad, while simultaneously allowing your own backyard to be invaded by it? In the not too distant future, at the current trajectory, Western countries won't even be worth defending. Now let me tell you about the insane health benefits of magnesium, the mineral your body's literally begging for to calm your mind, relax your muscles, and more importantly, help you sleep like a baby. And before you roll your eyes like you just flipped through the heavily redacted Epstein files, this isn't some woo-woo nonsense. Dr. Eric Berg, one of the most trusted voices in health, has been talking about this for years.
What would happen if you took magnesium for 2 weeks? You have to realize that a huge percent of the population is deficient in magnesium. Unfortunately, you can't accurately test magnesium in the blood since only 1% of it is in the blood. But if you took magnesium, your anxiety would start going away. You would feel calmer. You would sleep a lot better. All those muscle spasms and leg cramps will go away. And if you had any heart problems like high blood pressure, arrhythmias, you would find that those will start clearing up.
Black Forest took Dr. Berg and Andrew Huberman's insights to create what I now call my favourite sleep cocktail. It's based on really good, solid, pure peer-reviewed science, and it has a ton of magnesium. Specifically magnesium threonate and something called apigenin, which is basically a derivative of chamomile. Those two things work really well. They essentially shut down the forebrain, the thinking, anticipating part of your brain, and allow you to drift off into sleep really well. Theanine is the third ingredient in the cocktail and turns on what's called the GABA system, an inhibitory neurotransmitter. It helps suppress anxiety and turn off thinking, helping you make the transition into sleep. Forget about destroying your ability to fall asleep with melatonin, or using Big Pharma's dangerous and addictive sleeping pills. Getting rejuvenating sleep has never been more important, so we can rest up and recharge for a world that's constantly trying to make us fat, weak, and docile. And you get all of magnesium's benefits because it's loaded with 1,100 mgs of magnesium. Here's the deal. I worked out an exclusive offer with my guy at Black Forest Supplements to hook you up with 40% off for the next 48 hours. But this stuff always sells out, so don't wait and take advantage of this launch day deal because they said it's never gonna be this cheap again. And I mean, come on, Iran is pathetic. They're not gonna respond with anything substantive against the US military and get wiped out in a heartbeat. Look at how they responded to this attack by threatening legal action. Oh no, not legal action. What they have done is shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is going to send inflation and oil prices soaring. Your energy bills are about to go through the roof again. What they can do is activate sleeper cells who are already embedded throughout the West. One of them was hours away from killing Brits on UK soil just last month. The US military's already anticipating attacks on Americans in the US. The Manchester Arena bomber was a refugee rescued from Libya. Had we not bombed Libya into regime change, he would have never been in the country. Had we not bombed Libya into regime change and heeded Gaddafi's warning, mass casualty ISIS attacks like the Paris massacre would have never happened, and the hyper-accelerated post-2011 deluge of mass migration would have never happened. Over 20,000 Iranians have already arrived illegally in the UK on small boats. We've got no idea who many of them are. Now untold tens of thousands more are going to come under the justification of the fact that we're bombing their country. Iran's the largest refugee hosting nation in the world, with 3.5 million of them, mostly from Afghanistan. They're all coming over. The UN says the war has already prompted an exodus. Where do you think they're all heading? If they're going to call for death to America and vow to destroy the West, I'd rather they do that from over there, not over here, while they're literally walking our streets. If we pursue a more aggressive US military intervention in Iran, how many Iranians chanting death to America will become refugees who end up in America? Exactly. Charlie seems to have softened a bit on that stance now. None of the backlash is going to hurt the deep state or the neocons. They want terror attacks in the West. They want chaos so they can escalate it all even further. The backlash always falls on us. We're the ones who pay the price. Reform UK stands behind the military actions of the USA overnight. Iran must not be allowed to have nuclear weapons. The future of Israel depends on it. Yeah, when I voted for Reform UK, I was voting for the future of the UK, not Israel. Americans voted for Trump to stop an invasion of their country, not grease the skids for the potential invasion of a foreign country 7,000 miles away. And I know they killed Soleimani and nothing happened. Maybe Trump's right and this will bring an end to it all. But that's certainly not the view of many. And that's a wrap on World War III. Unfollow grifters accordingly. Hope Dave's tweet ages like fine wine and not milk. If Iran responds in any way, it's definitely not a wrap, since Trump's vowed to attack them much harder. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe dropping a full payload of massive ordnance penetrator bombs really does mean it's time for peace. Maybe this won't get anywhere near a ground invasion or regime change. But that's certainly what Israel wants. And they tend to get what they want. I know America first doesn't mean sitting around like pacifist pansies and never calling on the military to defend America's interests. But does this really have much to do with America's interests? Or is it Israel's interests? I've been against every military intervention in the Middle East since I started doing this aged 18. And I've been consistent, unlike a lot of prominent MAGA thought leaders. And unfortunately, I've been consistently correct. Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria. Middle Eastern regime change always ends in disaster for the West, both in the short term through violence against our own people, and in the long term through demographic oblivion. We're supposed to be doing this to fight Islamic extremism, yet only ever end up getting more of it. I want to be wrong. Try and convince me in the comments that I'm wrong, I'll be reading them. But can you really tell me it's going to be any different this time? If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.